I knew pretty much right away that I was pregnant. The hormones just kicked in right away. We were extremely excited. It was our first child, my parents' first grandchild. And I thought, we're ready to go. God's with us. It's good. I have no health issues. Jason has no health issues, no history of anything. And people do this every day. So we should be fine. 5 weeks into it, I think something's off. I just feel different. I don't feel pregnant. And that evening, I started spotting. It just kept getting progressively worse, and I did miscarry. That Sunday, they had baby dedications. It hit us pretty hard, thinking of the fact that we won't be dedicating that child. I just felt that the scripture he put on my heart was Proverbs 4:23. Guard your heart with all diligence, because out of it flows the issues of life. One of the closest people to me, she announced that she was pregnant. And that was kind of like, wow, that really hit home. With somebody that I'm walking through life with, I'm going to see this pregnancy develop. And I realized I needed to hold on to that scripture. He was just letting me know, just guard your heart, protect your heart, so that you don't get hardened by saying, God, why them and not me? June of 2010, we went on a retreat. We conceived in that weekend. I was thinking it way in advance and just planning it all out and, seeing this child graduate from college and, all of those things. This pregnancy was, progressing along pretty normally. Had a lot of morning sickness. And then I was starting to experience some pains. And by 13 weeks, I couldn't get out of bed. My husband went to work. I called him and I said, I think you need to come home. Something's not right. I think I need to go to the emergency room. All of a sudden, I felt a gush. We got in the car and Jason just turned on the radio. The song that was playing was Praise You in the Storm by Casting Crowns. And it was just very appropriate. It was what we needed to cling to at that moment. We didn't know what was happening. We just were like, okay, God, we're trusting you. The next morning, the heartbeat had stopped. I actually delivered the baby. There were times where Jason and I would be watching television and a commercial would come on that involved parents and children, and we both just start crying. But at the same time, we weren't panicking, we weren't freaking out, we were just peaceful, and it was totally God. There were even moments where we were laughing. It was just not that finality, not where are you, God, not how could this happen. This is what the peace of God does. It just gives you the ability to laugh in the midst of a hard time, to have joy in the midst of sorrow, and that his word is true. They had determined that I had a fibroid. I knew surgery wasn't an option for me because they said that it makes your chances of getting pregnant harder. So I took the ultrasound of the fibroid and I put it in my Bible. God is bigger than fibroids or anything that would hinder us from getting pregnant. June of 2011, we conceived again. It was about 5 weeks. And we went for the ultrasound. It was kind of a surreal moment where he's doing the ultrasound and you watch the doctor's face. His face dropped and he was like, okay, well, we have a possibility of two things going on here. Either the baby didn't implant all the way or you're miscarrying. Immediately, a scripture came to mind. It's in 2 Corinthians where it says, taking every thought captive. And so I just was like, any of the thoughts that were coming, like, not again, why us, what's going on, God, where are you? All those things, we just took them captive and we just said, do we want to be bitter or do we want to be better for this? We put ourselves and this baby and this pregnancy in his hands. That weekend, we lost that pregnancy. The first time, it's pretty common. Second time, okay, we'll wait and see. And then the third time, even in the medical world, they start to say, okay, we need to figure out what's going on here. I just was like, what are our options? Like Job said, though he slay me, yet will I trust him. And not that I felt like God was slaying me, but that posture of, even if we don't have a baby, what does my Christianity look like? What does my relationship with God look like in this moment? No matter what the future holds, I'm trusting him. I love him. He never promised that this life would be easy. But he promised that he would be with us, that he would give us the strength, the grace, the mercy, the joy, all the things necessary to overcome whatever we face. And those scriptures, those became very tangible. It's not just rhetoric. I know what it means to say, I can do all things. I know what it means to say, his grace is sufficient. I know what it means to say that his peace will surpass all understanding, because it doesn't even make sense to me that I feel this way, but I know it's his peace that's doing it. It was in late March of 2012. We were pregnant again. We just began to pray. So when we went for the 20-week visit, this is the furthest we've ever gotten. She's doing the ultrasound and she's pointing out everything. And she says to me, 10 fingers, 10 toes, your date is such and such. And all of a sudden I just burst into tears. I couldn't have asked for a better delivery. My water broke at 9 and I delivered him at 5 o'clock. And I feel like, oh, it's like 8 hours, put in a good day's work. And for me, the biggest miracle was the fact that my relationship with God stayed intact, that Jason's relationship with God stayed intact, our relationship as a couple stayed intact and is stronger. And then on top of that, we have the bonus of having a beautiful little boy. God is faithful. He doesn't always do things according to our plans. There may be 1, 2, 3 challenges in the way, but if you just lean into God, trust him, he is faithful, he's trustworthy.